Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast for Life. I'm Emma.
And I'm Sophie. Thanks for tuning in again. We're so happy you're here, wherever you are in the world.
If you can't tell from my voice, I'm smiling because the weather has finally changed. The air just feels different, doesn't it?
It really does. It's that crisp feeling, cool but not freezing. You can smell leaves and rain at the same time.
Exactly. And since we've both been talking non-stop about the weather lately, we thought, why not dedicate a whole episode to our favorite season, autumn?
Or fall if you're in the US.
Right. Today we're chatting about why we both absolutely love autumn. Its colors, food, feelings, all the good stuff. Just a natural conversation. Like two friends having tea on a cool afternoon.
Speaking of tea, what are you drinking?
Spiced chai with oat milk. Very autumnal. You?
Earl Grey, classic. I threw in a cinnamon stick, actually. It makes it feel festive.
You're so fancy. So before we jump into all the cozy stuff, let's set the scene. What is it about autumn that makes people love it so much?
I think it's the season of change. You can see and feel it everywhere. Trees turning golden, the days getting shorter, people digging out their scarves again.
Yes, after the hot chaos of summer, autumn feels calmer, like nature is taking a deep breath.
That's beautiful. And maybe we do the same. We slow down, cook more, spend more evenings at home.
Totally. That word cozy keeps coming to mind. It's one of my favorites.
Right? It's such a mood word. You can feel it just by saying it. Cozy. I think a lot of people fall for autumn because it invites that feeling.
Nice play on words, fall for autumn.
Oh, that wasn't even planned.
Sure it wasn't. But yes, autumn gives us permission to slow down. Even fashion changes. Suddenly you can wear layers, jumpers, scarves, boots.
And you don't have to worry about melting makeup or frizzy hair from humidity.
Exactly. It's flattering weather. I think autumn light is the prettiest light. The sun's lower in the sky, so everything looks softer.
Photographers love that golden hour. The world literally turns amber.
You're already sounding poetic. Maybe that's another reason autumn's my favorite. It makes people more reflective, like we start noticing small details again.
I agree. In summer, everyone's rushing, holidays, social plans, long days. In autumn, you get this quiet space to think.
It's funny how a shift in temperature can change your whole rhythm.
Yes, and I love that first day you realize, oh, it's autumn now. There's a breeze, maybe someone nearby has lit a fireplace, and you smell wood smoke.
Wood smoke. That smell is instant nostalgia for me. Do you remember raking leaves as a kid?
Totally. And jumping into the piles even though my dad told me not to because there might be bugs.
Worth it though.
Absolutely. I grew up in a small town, and every garden turned orange and red. It was like living inside a painting.
See? That's what I mean. Autumn brings out the poet in everyone.
It really does. And not just in language. Even music changes. People start listening to acoustic guitars, mellow jazz, slower tunes.
Yes, I actually have a playlist called Sweater Weather. That phrase basically sums up early autumn. You can finally wear a sweater comfortably.
Perfect. It captures the feeling better than any dictionary ever could.
Maybe we should each share our top 3 reasons why autumn's our favorite season. Then we can unpack them as we go.
Good idea. Okay, I'll go first. Number 1, the colors. Number 2, the food. Number 3, that feeling of calm.
Beautiful. Mine are similar. 1, the atmosphere, that cozy mood. 2, the clothes, I love layering. And 3, the sense of reflection. Everything feels a little deeper somehow.
Perfect. So let's dive into the first one, the colors. Because honestly, nothing beats the sight of those trees turning red, orange, and gold.
Exactly. Let's get into that, coming up right after a short break. Welcome back. So, as we were saying, one of the biggest reasons we love autumn is the colors. Honestly, it's like the world suddenly decides to put on a show.
Oh, absolutely. You step outside and it's a mix of fiery reds, burnt oranges, golden yellows. Every tree looks like it's glowing.
And it's not just the trees. The grass starts turning a bit duller, the sky changes, and even the way sunlight hits everything is different. It feels warmer somehow, even if the air is cool.
Yes, and there's this magical mix of textures. The crunch of fallen leaves under your feet, the soft moss on the ground, the rough bark of trees, suddenly so noticeable when you walk through a park.
I love that sound, walking through a pile of dry leaves. There's nothing like it. My brother and I used to race to see who could make the biggest crunch.
That's so familiar. I remember one time I jumped into a leaf pile at my friend's house, and a few minutes later, a squirrel popped out from underneath. Almost gave me a heart attack.
Autumn is full of little surprises like that, and there's something about the colors that makes you reflective. Even if you're just walking to the shop, everything looks like it belongs in a painting.
Exactly. It's like nature is whispering, slow down, notice this, and you actually do. Even the smallest details, the veins of a leaf, the way the wind moves branches, suddenly seem important.
And the smell. I feel like the colors and smells go hand in hand. That first crisp day in October, the smell of damp leaves, wood smoke, and just that earthy scent.
Yes, it's rich and grounding. And every autumn, I get this urge to go out for long walks, even if it's chilly, just to soak it in.
Same here. I have this tradition, I call it my autumn walk ritual. Every year, I try to walk through a park at least once a week just to see how the season is changing. Sometimes I take photos, sometimes I don't.
I love that idea. I have a slightly different tradition. I spend at least one day in October jumping into as many leaf piles as possible. It's childish, but it's joyful.
Nothing wrong with that. Autumn gives you permission to be a little childlike again. I think that's part of its magic.
And it's not just fun, it's comforting. There's something in autumn that encourages you to slow down, to notice textures, colors, sounds. Even the wind has a different feel.
Yes, it's gentler than summer storms, but more lively than the stillness of winter. I always feel like I can hear autumn more clearly. The rustle of leaves, the occasional bird call, footsteps in the park.
And it's also the start of layering fashion. You finally get to wear scarves and chunky sweaters. There's this soft, tactile pleasure in wrapping yourself up, feeling cozy but stylish.
Oh, definitely. I feel like clothes suddenly become part of the autumn experience. Wool, cotton, flannel, everything is softer, warmer, comforting. And the colors match the season too. Browns, deep oranges, forest greens.
Exactly. You can coordinate your wardrobe with the landscape. And that makes even small things like walking to work feel a little special.
And speaking of little things, have you noticed how the sunset in autumn is different too? It's richer, more vibrant, sometimes pink, sometimes gold, sometimes a soft lavender. It's the perfect backdrop for an evening walk.
I love that. And those sunsets make you want to slow down, even if just for a few minutes. Sometimes I sit by my window and watch the sky change. It feels peaceful.
Autumn is really the season that makes you aware of your senses. Sight, sound, smell, they're all heightened. And it's not overwhelming like summer. It's gentle, grounding, thoughtful.
Yes, and that's why I think a lot of people associate autumn with reflection. You look at the world, you notice small details, you feel a kind of quiet joy in everyday moments.
And that reflection often comes with memory. Autumn smells, colors, sounds, they all trigger memories from childhood, school days, family moments.
Absolutely. I always think of the first day I saw autumn leaves turning red in my neighborhood. I was 8, and I remember standing on the sidewalk, staring at a tree, mesmerized. That feeling has stayed with me.
Same here. I have memories of autumn walks with my grandparents, collecting acorns, pressing leaves into books. Small things, but they become huge parts of our emotional connection to the season.
I also love the contrast. The first cold day after summer, and suddenly you're wearing a scarf and a coat, stepping on crunchy leaves. There's this physical reminder that seasons change, life changes, and it's beautiful.
It's comforting and exciting at the same time. You know, some people dread the shorter days, but I think the golden light, the colors, the textures, they make up for the darker evenings.
Totally. And the darker evenings have their own charm. You can light candles, curl up with a book, or have long conversations over tea. Autumn nights are intimate and cozy in a way summer nights rarely are.
Exactly. And I feel like that intimacy with your surroundings is why so many people love autumn. It's personal. It's like the world is inviting you to slow down and enjoy your own company or the company of friends.
Well said. And that's probably why we both look forward to it every year, without fail.
Yes, so colors, textures, the feel of the air, smells, sunsets, autumn really is a feast for the senses.
And we're just getting started. Next, we'll move on to another reason we love autumn, the food. Because honestly, nothing says autumn like the taste of the season.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Now that we've talked about the colors and textures of autumn, I think it's time to talk about one of my absolute favorite things about the season, the food.
Oh yes, food in autumn is special. It's warm, hearty, comforting, everything you want when the days start to get chilly.
Exactly. And it's not just about taste. It's about the smells, too. I swear, when I walk past a bakery in October and smell fresh apple pies or pumpkin bread, it feels like the season has officially arrived.
Absolutely. There's a kind of magic in those aromas. And it's not only sweets. Soups, stews, roasted vegetables, all the earthy smells fill the house and make it feel like home.
I've actually started a little autumn tradition. Every October, I try a new recipe, usually something seasonal. Last year, it was roasted butternut squash with sage and walnuts. Divine.
That sounds amazing. I have a similar ritual. I spend an afternoon baking apple crisps, pies, or muffins. The house smells incredible for hours, and I usually eat half of it before dinner.
I would too. And there's something about the textures in autumn food that feels comforting. Soft baked goods, creamy soups, thick stews. You want to wrap yourself up in a blanket while you eat.
Exactly. And the flavors are deeper in autumn. Sweet potatoes, pumpkins, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, even the drinks reflect it. Think chai lattes, spiced teas, hot chocolate with marshmallows.
Oh yes, the drinks. You know, I actually start looking forward to my morning coffee just so I can try all the autumn specials. Pumpkin spice latte, salted caramel, gingerbread. It's like the season in a cup.
Don't forget mulled cider. That's my autumn drink of choice. I love the mix of apples, cinnamon, cloves, and a hint of orange. It smells heavenly.
Mulled cider is amazing, and it's perfect for gatherings. You can share it with friends, family, or even just enjoy a cup while sitting by the window and watching the leaves fall.
I love that image. And the food, too. It's very seasonal. I feel like autumn gives us permission to eat richer, heartier meals. Roasts, casseroles, hearty pasta dishes, food that fills you up and warms you from the inside.
Yes, and I love how this connects to traditions. Halloween, Thanksgiving, food is central to the celebrations, and it really brings people together.
Exactly. Even smaller traditions are so comforting. My family always makes a big batch of pumpkin soup, and we freeze a few portions to eat over the month. It's like a hug in a bowl.
A hug in a bowl. That's perfect. And desserts? Apple pies, pecan pies, pumpkin tarts. I feel like autumn is the season for baking without guilt.
Definitely. And don't forget spiced cookies and gingerbread. The smells in the kitchen are just unforgettable. I always associate certain smells with certain autumn memories.
Yes, there's a kind of nostalgia tied to the food. Like, even if you're alone, making a pie or soup reminds you of childhood, family, and those quiet autumn afternoons.
Exactly. And even street food reflects autumn. Roasted chestnuts, baked apples, caramel popcorn. When I walk around a city in October or November, those smells make me feel so content.
I totally agree. And then there's the comfort factor. You know how in summer you might crave something light and cold? In autumn, I want warmth, richness, layers of flavor, food that matches the season.
Yes, and I feel like it's more than just eating. There's a ritual to it. You prepare the food slowly, enjoy the smells while cooking, and then sit down and savor it. It's mindful.
Exactly. Autumn makes you appreciate food differently. And sometimes I even take a little extra time to make the table look nice. Candles, warm colors, cozy blankets nearby.
That's the best part. You can sit and enjoy every bite without rushing. And sharing meals feels more special too. I love inviting friends over for a small autumn dinner, something casual but comforting.
Yes, I think that's why so many people look forward to autumn parties and gatherings. It's a season that encourages connection.
And not just dinner. Think about afternoon tea, warm scones, clotted cream, cinnamon muffins, the perfect autumn break.
Absolutely. And even breakfast changes. I swap my usual cereal for oatmeal with apple and cinnamon, or baked pears with honey and walnuts. It feels seasonal.
I love that. Autumn meals feel like they're part of the rhythm of the season. You start embracing flavors and textures that would feel out of place in spring or summer.
Exactly. And the whole sensory experience is heightened. The smells, colors, warmth, it all comes together to make food feel special in autumn.
And it doesn't have to be fancy. Even a simple bowl of roasted vegetables tastes like a celebration when it's autumn. There's something in the air, something in the light. It just enhances every bite.
Yes, that's why autumn is the season of comfort food, cozy drinks, and small indulgences. It's nourishing in every sense.
I think we could spend hours just talking about autumn food. It's really one of the best parts of the season.
Absolutely. And speaking of indulgence, I think it's time we move on to another amazing part of autumn, the festivals, traditions, and celebrations around the world.
Yes, festivals, traditions, local foods, and even the way people enjoy autumn vary so much. It's fascinating.
Let's start with Halloween. Of course, that's huge in the United States, but it's becoming more popular in other countries too. Pumpkins, costumes, trick-or-treating, it's fun for kids and adults alike.
Absolutely. I love Halloween because it's playful. You can be creative with costumes, carve pumpkins, decorate your house. It's a mix of spooky and cozy at the same time.
And it's not just about candy either. There are autumn fairs, pumpkin patches, haunted houses. It really feels like the season comes alive for a couple of weeks.
Yes, and it's fascinating to see the regional differences. In some parts of Europe, people don't really do trick-or-treating, but there are markets, festivals, and special foods for the season.
Exactly. In Germany, for example, autumn is also about the harvest. You have wine festivals, apple markets, and traditional breads and pastries made from the new crops.
And speaking of harvest, Thanksgiving in the U.S. is another autumn highlight. Families gather to share a meal, express gratitude, and enjoy the seasonal bounty. Turkey, mashed potatoes, pies, the works.
I love that tradition. Even though I'm not American, I've celebrated a few Thanksgivings with friends here, and it really captures the feeling of autumn. Community, warmth, and reflection.
Exactly. And I think that's what connects many autumn traditions. They're about slowing down, appreciating what you have, and enjoying the natural cycle of the season.
Yes, and not every tradition is about big celebrations. Some are small but beautiful, like the Japanese tradition of momijigari, which is leaf viewing. People travel to see the autumn foliage, often going to parks or mountains to admire the colors.
Oh yes, I've read about that. Families and friends will bring tea and snacks, sit under maple trees, and simply enjoy the scenery. It's so peaceful and reflective.
Exactly. And it shows a different way to experience autumn. Quiet, meditative, in tune with nature, rather than through parties or big meals.
And then there's the harvest festivals in rural communities around the world. In England, for example, there are traditional harvest festival services in churches, celebrating the crops of the year with songs, food, and community gatherings.
Yes, I remember attending one as a child. People would bring baskets of vegetables, apples, and flowers. There was music, singing, and a real sense of togetherness.
It's beautiful how autumn brings people together across cultures, even if the celebrations look different. The theme is usually the same: gratitude, reflection, and enjoying the fruits of the season.
Exactly. And speaking of fruits, some countries have unique autumn traditions tied to specific foods. In South Korea, for example, Chuseok is a major harvest festival. Families gather, prepare rice cakes, share food, and honor their ancestors.
I love learning about that. And it's fascinating how autumn, being a season of change, naturally inspires reflection and connection in many cultures.
And then you have local variations in Europe. Apple festivals in France, chestnut festivals in Italy, Oktoberfest in Germany. Even if they're more modern or touristy, they all celebrate the richness of autumn.
Oktoberfest is a great example. People come together, enjoy seasonal foods and beers, listen to music, and dress in traditional clothes. It's lively, but also very seasonal.
Yes, and it's funny how travel can make you notice the season differently. I once went to New England in the US during October, and the trees were unreal, like the land had been painted.
Oh yes, New England is famous for its autumn foliage. I went there a few years ago too. The roads lined with red, yellow, and orange trees. I took hundreds of photos. Every corner looked like a postcard.
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite things about traveling in autumn. Every place has its own rhythm and way of celebrating. Even simple activities, like going for a walk in the park, feel enhanced by the season.
Yes, and sometimes the festivals are small but meaningful. Local food fairs, craft markets, music performances, they all give a taste of the culture and the season at the same time.
And there's something nostalgic about that too. Even if you're not in your home country, autumn has this universal quality. It's cozy, reflective, and communal. People everywhere are slowing down, noticing colors, sharing food, and connecting with family and friends.
Exactly. And for me, autumn also has a little sense of adventure. The weather changes, the daylight is softer, and you feel like you can explore cities or countryside in a completely different way than in summer.
Yes, hiking in autumn is magical. Leaves crunching underfoot, cool air on your face, the smell of damp earth. It's like the season is a partner in your adventure.
And the same goes for city walks. Cafes with warm drinks, people strolling with scarves, street vendors selling seasonal treats. It all feels so rich and alive.
Exactly. Autumn combines the best of nature and culture, and the festivals and traditions highlight that. From big holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving to quiet leaf-viewing walks, every culture has something to celebrate.
And it's also interesting how even in countries without strong autumn traditions, the season inspires people in subtle ways. Baking, decorating, taking trips, photography, everyone finds a way to connect with it.
Yes, it's universal. Autumn is that rare season that feels both reflective and joyful, quiet and vibrant, intimate and communal, all at once.
Absolutely. And that's why it's no surprise that autumn is often people's favorite season worldwide.
Totally. And speaking of reflection, I think next we should talk about the emotional side of autumn, how it makes people feel, think, and even change their daily habits. That's coming up next.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll explore the feelings, the nostalgia, and the calm that autumn brings in just a moment.
Now we're diving into one of the most personal aspects of autumn, how it makes us feel.
Yes, autumn is a season that seems to touch emotions in a deeper way. There's a certain calmness, a sense of slowing down, and sometimes even a bit of melancholy.
I love that word, melancholy. There's a bittersweet quality to autumn. On one hand, it's cozy and beautiful, On the other hand, the days are getting shorter, summer is gone. It's reflective.
Exactly. And I think that's why many people feel more creative or introspective in autumn. The softer light, the cooler air, the sound of leaves, it all encourages thought and reflection.
Yes, even simple things, walking to the shop, sitting in a cafe, reading a book, suddenly feel more meaningful in autumn. There's a quiet intimacy to the season.
And I love how it encourages slowing down. People start spending more time at home, cooking, reading, or just enjoying small pleasures that they might ignore in summer.
Absolutely. Autumn feels like permission to rest, to be mindful. It's like nature is telling us, take a breath, notice what matters.
And for me, autumn also triggers nostalgia. I think about childhood memories, jumping into leaf piles, visiting pumpkin patches, sitting by fireplaces. Even small things feel emotionally amplified.
Yes, it's like every sound, smell, or color can bring back a memory. A cinnamon smell might take me back to baking with my grandmother. A red maple leaf reminds me of school days and walks with friends.
And I love how it also makes people connect emotionally. There's a shared feeling in autumn. People wear scarves, drink hot drinks, smile at each other in a cozy way. It's intimate without being forced.
Exactly. And even the quieter moments can be comforting. Sitting by the window while it rains outside, listening to the wind through the trees, it's peaceful. You're aware of life, but not rushed.
And that peacefulness can bring clarity. Autumn can feel like a season for reflection, decision-making, and personal growth. It's introspective without being heavy.
Yes, it's gentle introspection. You notice what's important, what you want to carry forward, and even what you might want to let go of, just like the trees shed their leaves.
Beautifully said. And I think that's one reason autumn resonates emotionally with so many people. It combines beauty, calm, and a little melancholy, all in one season.
Exactly. And it's emotional in a positive way, too. You feel cozy, connected, and grateful. The emotional richness is part of the reason it's my favorite season.
Mine too. Autumn has that unique ability to touch the heart in simple, everyday moments. Walking, eating, listening to music, spending time with loved ones.
So, here we are at the end of our autumn episode. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about today.
Yes, colors, textures, walks in the park, leaf piles, sunsets, they all create that sensory richness that makes autumn so special.
Food and drinks, too. Soups, pies, roasted vegetables, spiced drinks, baked treats. Autumn feels nourishing in every sense.
And festivals and traditions around the world add another layer. Halloween, Thanksgiving, harvest festivals, leaf viewing in Japan. All ways of celebrating the season and connecting with others.
And finally, the emotional side. Autumn invites reflection, mindfulness, nostalgia, and warmth. It's a season that encourages us to slow down, enjoy small pleasures, and appreciate beauty in everyday life.
Exactly. And when you combine all of these aspects, it's no wonder autumn is such a beloved season worldwide. It touches the senses, the emotions, and the soul.
Yes, and what I love most is that autumn feels personal. It gives each of us permission to experience it in our own way, through walks, cooking, reading, or just sitting quietly and noticing the world around us.
It's true. And even if you live in a place where the seasons aren't as pronounced, you can create your own autumn rituals. A warm drink, seasonal recipes, cozy clothing, and reflective moments can bring that autumn feeling anywhere.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of autumn. It's adaptable, personal, and timeless. It reminds us to slow down, enjoy small joys, and connect with the world around us.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. Autumn isn't just a season. It's an experience, a feeling, and a memory all wrapped into one.
Yes, and we hope that after listening to today's episode, you'll find little ways to embrace autumn in your own life.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and felt inspired to notice the colors, tastes, smells, and feelings of autumn in your own way.
Remember to take a walk, sip that warm drink, watch the leaves, and maybe even bake something delicious. Autumn is meant to be experienced fully.
We'll see you next time on English Podcast for Life. For more conversations, reflections, and inspiration to make your everyday life richer.
Until then, stay cozy, stay curious, and enjoy the season. Goodbye.